Have you ever felt a deep sense of knowing, like a quiet voice inside you that isn't coming from your thoughts or feelings? It's not just your imagination, it's a signal. Something inside you is trying to communicate, and it's not your brain. Long before we understood the heart as just a pump for blood, people saw it as the seat of the soul, a center of deep wisdom and a mirror reflecting the mysteries of life. Ancient spiritual traditions didn't just guess this, they knew it for sure. They weren't talking about the physical heart, but a different kind of heart, one you can't see or touch. This spiritual heart wakes up when everything else falls away. Imagine that inside you there's a quiet temple made not of stone but of light and energy. A peaceful space that stays calm, even when life is chaotic. That's the spiritual heart. It doesn't just handle your emotions. It directs your energy, guides your important choices, and connects you to something bigger than yourself. It's invisible, but very real. Maybe even more real than your thoughts. In this video, we'll look beyond the mystery and explore the idea that the true center of your life isn't your brain, but this sacred energy point deep in your chest. We'll learn what it really is, how ancient cultures understood it, and how you can start to activate it in your everyday life. We'll talk about how old civilizations saw its power, why modern science has mostly ignored it, and how waking it up can change your life from just going through the motions to living with true awareness. This won't be a quick or shallow explanation. I'll take you on a deep journey into human consciousness, sharing hidden teachings, symbols, and practical steps that could change how you see yourself. The spiritual heart is more than just a symbol. It's the real center of who you are, the true throne of your soul. Get ready, because what you're about to learn isn't just information. It's ancient wisdom. Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. For thousands of years, wise people and mystics have said the real heart of a person isn't the one made of flesh and blood, but an invisible core where the eternal lives. This spiritual heart has been called many names: the soul's center, the inner temple, the lotus of the chest. But its role is always the same: to connect the human with the divine. For the ancient Egyptians, the heart was more than just important. It was where consciousness and morality lived. In the Book of the Dead, when someone passed away, their heart was weighed against a feather representing truth and order. If the heart was heavy with guilt or impurities, their soul would be destroyed. It wasn't their thoughts being judged, but their heart. This shows how much they saw the heart as the record keeper of a person's true life. In India's Vedic traditions, there's the idea of Anahata, the fourth chakra located in the center of the chest. It means unstruck sound or original vibration, representing pure awareness. Beyond the fight between mind and matter, Anahata isn't just an energy center. It's the doorway to unconditional love, compassion, and deep intuition. According to yogis, this is where the soul begins to realize its true nature. Islamic mysticism, especially Sufism, talks about the spiritual heart called qalb. They see it as a mirror. When clean, it reflects divine light. When covered with dust like ego or desires, it can't reflect the truth. Sufis don't just want knowledge in their heads. They want their hearts to wake up, because that's where the true connection with God happens. Even in Christian mysticism, there's the idea of the Sacred Heart, a symbol of divine love shining from the center of our being. Saints and visionaries describe the heart as a burning flame, a sacred place inside. Saint Teresa of Avila called the soul an inner castle with the deepest room, the heart, where one connects with God. Different cultures and times all agreed on this. There is a place beyond thinking, a secret room of the soul where eternal wisdom lives. This wasn't just a story or a metaphor. It was a truth felt by those brave enough to quiet their minds and dive deep into their inner core. Today's world, focused on logic and material things, often ignores this hidden heart inside us. But if we look back at ancient wisdom, we see it's not just about a symbol or idea. It's about rediscovering a real spiritual part of ourselves that's been lost. And what's at stake is huge: our connection to something eternal, something real and sacred within us. The spiritual heart isn't a fantasy or just a feeling. It's a real energy center, even though we can't see it with our eyes. To really understand it, we have to go beyond regular biology and psychology and explore a deeper map of who we are, a map where body, mind, soul, and spirit are all connected, like threads in a complex tapestry. According to ancient teachings, we have multiple layers of being: the physical body, an energy or subtle body, the mind, emotions, and beyond all that, a spiritual body. The spiritual heart sits right where the energy body and the soul meet. It's where life energy is organized and where our higher will shows up. In other words, it's like a quiet control center that manages not just the energy flowing through us, but also the spiritual direction of our lives. Unlike the brain, which works through logic and step-by-step thinking, the spiritual heart works through intuition and feeling. It senses truth not by analyzing, but by recognizing a kind of inner knowing, like hearing a song for the first time, but feeling like you've always known it. This heart doesn't beat by a clock. It beats by the rhythm of the soul. Many traditions talk about the human energy field, sometimes called the aura or body of light, which has energy centers called chakras. The spiritual heart is located in the middle of the chest, near the heart chakra called anahata, but they're not the same thing. The chakra is like a spinning wheel of energy, helping the flow move. The spiritual heart is the center that decides where that energy goes. Think of the chakra as the instrument and the spiritual heart as the musician playing it. When the spiritual heart wakes up, big changes start to happen inside. Instead of just following selfish desires, a person begins to listen to deeper guidance. A new kind of moral compass appears, one that goes beyond rules or outside beliefs. Real compassion arises naturally, not because you have to, but because you truly connect with life. And most importantly, you gain clarity that lets you see what's real and what's not, in a way that thinking alone can't provide. Ancient teachers said the spiritual heart is the true place of the I am, the part of us that watches without judging, loves without needing to own, and understands without effort. It's the quiet witness inside all of us, present from birth and lasting beyond death, like a part of the soul that also acts like an antenna here in this world. That's why in spiritual traditions like Sufism, Tantric Buddhism, or Christian mysticism, awakening the heart is seen as essential. Without it, spiritual practice can become empty repetition or just going through the motions. But once the spiritual heart comes alive, everything changes. Meditation feels meaningful. Prayer becomes a real connection. Even everyday life feels sacred. That's when we realize the real spiritual journey isn't about looking outward or climbing some ladder. It's about going inward to that hidden place where the truth has always been waiting. Waking up the spiritual heart isn't easy or automatic. It's a process, like an inner transformation that needs both courage and letting go. This heart has always been inside us, like a seed under the ground, but to activate it, we have to move through layers of forgetfulness, emotional pain, false identities, and distractions. It's not about creating something new, but remembering who we really are at our core. One of the biggest blocks to waking up this heart is the ego, the part of our mind that builds a separate me. The ego is smart and tricky, resisting change. It runs on fear, comparison, judgment, and a need to control. While the ego wants to be right, the spiritual heart wants to understand. While the ego fears losing things, the spiritual heart owns nothing and fears nothing. The ego doesn't just disappear because you want it to. It fades away when a higher awareness shows up. And that awareness is born in the spiritual heart. Many mystical traditions talk about a secret fire burning deep in the center of the chest. Alchemists called it the fire of inner transformation. In Kabbalah, there's mention of a divine spark called nitzatz that lives in the human heart and longs to reconnect with infinite light. This fire isn't physical, but more like a vibration. When we start living from the spiritual heart, this fire lights up and begins to burn away anything that's not real. Fake masks fall away, illusions disappear, and what's left is the truth. So what does that awakening feel like? How can you tell if you're truly living from the spiritual heart and not just caught up in a temporary emotion? The heart awakening isn't about feeling super happy or euphoric, though those can happen sometimes. It's more like a deep, steady peace that doesn't depend on what's happening around you. It's a quiet confidence, a feeling of being bigger inside, where you start seeing others not as separate people but as parts of yourself. It's like an invisible door opens inside you, giving you access to a kind of wisdom that you haven't learned from books, but feels ancient and deeply familiar. At first, this feeling doesn't stay all the time. It comes in flashes, moments of silence, moments of pure love, or times during meditation when your sense of self fades away for a bit. But with practice and openness, this heart becomes the real center of your life. You stop reacting just out of your mind or your impulses and instead respond from a calm, aware presence that watches, accepts, and shines light on everything. What's really interesting is that when the spiritual heart wakes up, it also turns on an inner guide. Many people describe this as a soft voice or whisper that doesn't boss you around but gently guides you in the right direction. This voice doesn't need to shout. It's clear to anyone who's tuned into their soul, even with noise all around. When this happens, something amazing takes place. The spiritual heart not only changes how you see things, but it also improves the flow of your life energy, called prana, chi, or subtle energy depending on the tradition. Your body starts healing, your emotions balance out, and your mind becomes clearer. The spiritual heart organizes your whole energetic system, like a conductor leading an orchestra, not by force but through the vibration of conscious love. This is the big secret many ancient traditions kept. The spiritual heart isn't just for seeing the truth, it's a tool for real transformation. It's the foundation of true spiritual growth. And the most amazing part? This hidden organ has always been inside you, patiently waiting for you to listen and wake it up. Awakening the spiritual heart isn't just for saints, monks, or mystics living apart from the world. It's something anyone can do who wants a deeper, more meaningful life. But it won't happen by chance. It takes intention, regular practice, and a genuine willingness to look inside yourself. Here are a few things you can start doing to spark and keep the flame of your spiritual heart alive. 1. Create inner silence. The spiritual heart speaks softly. To hear it, you need quiet, not just outside, but inside your mind, too. Calm the constant chatter, judgments, and worries. Spend a few minutes every day, maybe just 10, sitting quietly without trying to fix or think about anything. Just be still. This creates the right space for your heart to start speaking. 2. Focus on the center of your chest. Gently bring your attention to the middle of your chest. You can do this while meditating, walking mindfully, or even during daily activities. This simple act acts like a key, waking up the heart's energy. Over time, you may begin to feel warmth or a living presence there, almost like the heart is answering your call. 3. align your thoughts, words, and actions. The spiritual heart thrives when what you think, say, and do are in sync. This creates a clear path for its energy to flow. It strengthens your energy and sharpens your inner awareness. It's not about being perfect, but about being real, having the courage to act from your truth, even if it's not easy or popular. Fourth, turn your pain into a doorway. Deep wounds, losses, and tough times often push us towards spiritual awakening. Instead of running away from pain, face it with your heart. Ask yourself, what part of me needs to be born again? Often the spiritual heart wakes up in the darkest moments because that's when masks fall off and the real truth shines through. Don't deny your pain. Use it as a path to something sacred. Fifth, serve others with loving awareness. Helping others with a pure heart is one of the strongest ways to awaken the spiritual heart. It's not about doing what you feel you have to do, but about seeing others as a part of yourself. When you serve from your heart, you connect with a higher energy. Every small act becomes a sacred way to connect with something greater. Sixth, practice gratitude as a spiritual act. Gratitude isn't just a nice feeling, it's a powerful force for change. When you truly give thanks from deep inside, you raise your energy and your spiritual heart begins to bloom. Be thankful for what's visible and invisible, for the easy and the hard. Gratitude feeds the secret garden of your soul. These aren't just mechanical steps, they are sacred actions. Like anything sacred, they need respect, consistency, and love. If you bring them into your life, not as chores but as gifts, you'll be planting seeds for a life led by your heart, from the hidden place where your deepest truth lives. We live in a noisy world. Screens glow, opinions shout, time slips away, and it's hard to focus. In this chaos, we've lost touch with the one place where truth doesn't have to be proven, where peace doesn't depend on outside things, and where wisdom isn't taught but remembered, the spiritual heart. Through this journey, we've seen that this heart isn't just a pretty idea or romantic symbol. It's a real bright center recognized by the world's greatest spiritual traditions. Egyptians, yogis, Sufis, mystical Christians, all pointing to the same truth in their own words. Inside you is a temple, and inside that temple burns a flame that can't be put out, though sometimes it's forgotten. Modern science has done amazing work studying the mind and body, but has mostly ignored the invisible soul. But things are changing. More and more people feel a restlessness that logic or stuff can't fix, a thirst for something deeper. That's the spiritual heart starting to call you awake. The hardest part of this journey isn't finding the spiritual heart, it's trusting it. Living from the heart means breaking old patterns, stopping the mind when it sabotages you, giving up quick pleasures for deeper truth, and most of all, letting go of the need to control everything. But the payoff is huge. Living from your spiritual heart means finding your inner compass, remembering that you're not separate from life, but part of its sacred flow. It means seeing that every person, every moment of pain or joy fits into a bigger, beautiful symphony, guided not by chance, but by the soul's intelligence. It's learning to move not with hurried steps, but with the calm respect of someone who knows every moment is a doorway. I invite you not to let this stay just a nice idea. Bring it into your life. Talk to your heart every morning. Feel it when you make decisions. Ask it questions your mind can't answer. Listen to it when the world wants you to be someone you're not. And above all, trust it. If you keep going, if you care for that flame, one day your spiritual heart won't just guide you, it will be your true home. And in that home, there's no loneliness, no confusion, no fear, only a calm, timeless certainty that you are exactly where you're meant to be. and that everything you need to remember who you are is already burning in the center of your chest. If this message spoke to you, if it sparked something inside or reminded you of a truth you'd forgotten, I invite you to dive deeper into this path. Subscribe to the channel and join a community focused on awakening, not just with the mind, but with the soul. Here we explore lost wisdom, soul maps, and tools to help you transform from the inside out. If this video inspired you, please give it a like. That positive energy helps us reach more hearts that are still sleeping. And if you feel called, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Sometimes one message can light a fire that's been out for years. Remember, the journey to the spiritual heart isn't about running away, it's about coming home, the most sacred and real home of all.